Going to school, going to school, going to school to make wonderful. We grab the bottles and fill them full. Going to school to make wonderful. Pack yourself.
A few days ago, we saw ad industry leaders Vandana Verma, Rakesh Hinduja, Saurabh Verma, and Amit Akali dressed up as school kids in uniforms across social media. Today, we've managed to catch hold of one of those school kids. Let's welcome Vandana Verma, co-founder and managing partner at Wondrlab, who's going to tell us why the agency network was evoking nostalgia. Thanks for joining us, Vandana.
Thank you, Neeta.
So, Wondrlab is clearly going back to school. Tell us how and why.
So, we have fundamentally at Wondrlab decided to productize a hell of a lot of our services. And Wiser was one big step that we took towards that. And we understand that brands want to market to children, and children in schools are a huge congregation point. We also understand through a whole lot of research that we have done in the last 12 months that schools are in the need of revenue because post-COVID, they are in, an extremely dilapidated condition, which leads them to not be able to meet their ends in many ways, infrastructurally or through, kids' experiences that they may want to create, which are out of the syllabus, say, for instance, or even paid decent teacher salaries. Today, the reality is, and we've done a very extensive research. The reality is that teachers are paid less than drivers in tier 1 cities. And that is just, a pathetic condition to be in. So given the fact that, brands can do marketing for good and enable schools in multiple ways, was the germ idea that really got us to explore a platform like Wiser, where brands can do marketing for goods and power schools through brand partnerships, and it is all at a click of a button and tech enabled.
Super. But the only source of influence when I was in school were the teachers. And now you're obviously expanding that canvas here by opening them up to a wide variety of brands also in school. Would that affect the sanctity of the institution in any way, according to you?
Not really, because what we've done on the platform is an open platform, as you know. It primarily has 3 key modules to it: brand, school, and backend. Backend is for functioning of Wiser. The core function of the school module is for a school to self-onboard themselves. The school has the power to decide which inventory or which event and occasion they believe they would like to open out to a brand. The platform is a SaaS platform. Brands apply to schools directly, and the schools have the power to say yes or no to the brand, or to the key creative visual, or to the communication that is coming to the children of their school. There's also a very extensive advisory board that we've set up on Wiser, which has a child specialist, nutritionist, child psychologists, who evaluate every piece of communication that goes out on Wiser. So before a campaign even goes live, the advisory board would sign it off and say, okay, this is child friendly. These are the different ways in which this campaign can enable, learning in school, etc. And even post that, the school has the ability and the power to say, okay, I've onboarded on Wiser because I would, open it out for brands to power some of the dreams that I have as school, but I still have the ability to say that please rework this creative, or please, I would not want this brand to enter. And that power lies still with the school.
Interesting. So how many schools and brands have you roped in to be a part of this platform already?
So we have been onboarding close to 200-300 schools a month. We have close to 2,000 schools on the platform already dimensionalized, which means that each school has written details about what they're comfortable with doing, what's the square feet area, etc., etc. And we have alignments with another 7,000 odd schools. Our ambition is that in 3 years, we'll be at 50,000 schools. And by next year, we'll be at anything between 8,000 and 10,000 schools.
And
very
these
keen
would
to
be all government schools, CBSE, IB, I mean, everything included, or a certain type of
So currently, these are only private schools, and we
Oh,
haven't really reached the aided and the government schools yet. And
okay.
within the private school space, they're across three boards of CBSE, ICSE, and state.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that's how schools are onboarding. It's free for a school to onboard at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and, we have a whole large 100 people feet on street team that walks the talk in 21 cities and has onboarded these schools and helped dimensionalize them on the platform. On the other end, brands are very keen. There is no, tech transparent ROI based platform available in the market that can get them to schools that easily.
Mm-hmm.
We have specifically focused on brands which talk about sport, hygiene, edutainment, health, because these are some of the 4 or 5 key pillars that schools are very interested in pushing amidst their children.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we currently have 10 brand campaigns roughly on the platform across various parts of the city. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and we've had with the launch immense interest. We're doing multiple demonstrations across brands every day. And we've actually set up across all our platforms a dedicated sales team. Like we have a dedicated technical team. We have a dedicated sales team that sells this media for us.
Okay. You touched upon this in a briefly, like, how will the platform ensure that brands directly speak to management in these schools? There would be a mediator. I mean, basically, I'm trying to understand if the interests of the kids are going to be safeguarded from beginning to finish, and no unsafe brand can be promoted to them at, it's an impressionable age we're looking at. Because mostly, it starts off in a very ideal manner, but then, loopholes are seen only as a campaign, kind of moves further. So what kind of checks do you have in place once the campaign, I mean, once the schools are on board and with a particular brand?
So, as I told you, it's a self-serve platform. Brands
Mm-hmm.
can log in. Once they log in, there is a simple 8-step procedure which gets them to send an email to the principal of the schools that they have chosen on the platform. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
when the principal receives the email, they evaluate the creative.
Mm-hmm.
Only once they evaluate the creative and simultaneously, only once the advisory board has signed it off for it to even reach the principal, can a campaign get activated. So, as I
Mm-hmm.
told you, there are 3 different modules. The core functionality of the school module on the platform is for schools to have a live dashboard
Mm-hmm.
that gives them the ability to decide whether they would like the campaign to work or not to work. And let whether they gives them the ability to decide on whether they would like that brand or that specific campaign to enter. It cannot
Mm-hmm.
happen without a approval from the principal, and this whole process is digitized, so
Mm-hmm.
everybody has a login. There's nothing happening on Excel sheets and WhatsApps. There's nothing happening on emails. It is all archived within the platform space itself. So when
Okay.
a brand logs in, self-serves a brief, automatically it reaches a principal stroke trustee to stroke a chairman of a school. School is pre-onboarded, the data is authentic. They read what there is very transparently on what this campaign is. They approve the campaign, and a consolidated list of approvals, rejections, or creative reworks is sent to the brand. They change what needs to be changed, drop what needs to be dropped, and activate the campaign through the platform.
Okay. So Wiser, from my understanding, is an open tech platform that connects brands in school, and it's definitely a first of a kind initiative in India.
Yeah.
And for Wondrlab, which launched as a Martech startup, this is your third platform, right? Third innovation, right? Is that correct?
Yes, so we have an influencer platform called Opportune, SaaS again.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we have acquired another company called Neon, which is a performance marketing agency, which we're creating into a platform. It was a serviced and a managed service just now, but we're creating that into a platform. And we have Visor. We own these, and we give these platforms as options to all brands to run integrated campaigns.
So what kind of revenue are you hoping Wiser will contribute to Wondrlab in the coming year?
Well, as the inventory increases, And, as schools keep onboarding and as different brand categories onboard, it is unprecedented for us. The good part about Wiser is that uh, most of the money actually goes to the school itself, right?
Mhm.
Because the school then gets powered to either redeem their Wiser points to set up infrastructure, or otherwise our commit has been on Wiser that we will, in over the next 3 years, impact teacher salaries by a minimum of 20% increase. And we believe that with the help of brands, Wiser will be able to do something as impactful as that for teachers across the nation.
So basically, an innovation with a heart. Nice.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
And brands have the power to do marketing for good. And what we really lack in the market today is how many such channels are really available, which are true, authentic, and absolutely sort of ROI driven and very transparent for brands to see that
Mhm.
they're getting what they've booked.
Okay. I was going back. You launched 2 years ago, and when back then, Wondrlab started out with the ambition of being a strong Indian origin agency network.
Correct.
But after WYP, it was you acquired Neon, which was a performance marketing agency. Then there was Opportune, an influencer marketing agency, like you mentioned, and then there was Wondrlab Technology, which is an incubation center for further MarTech properties. Are you also a big believer of digital over mainline advertising? And going by the acquisitions, even though you have something like a WYP, which is big on traditional advertising.
So I'm saying, it's not that digital will replace mainline. There
Mm-hmm.
is our core fundamental at Wonderlab has been that we understand brands, we understand human behavior, and we understand platforms, which takes us back to the fact that one size doesn't fit everything. You need creative ideas which are adaptable and agile for each platform. If I am on LinkedIn versus I am on Twitter versus I am on Instagram, I'm actually three different pen portraits. Does it
Mm-hmm.
make sense for a brand to push media on any of these platforms with the same creative? Maybe not, because I'm not seeking that on each of these as a consumer. I'm not seeking, that one fit creative on each of these platforms. So
Platforms.
to answer your question, it's not that digital is going to replace mainline communication. It's how adaptable are we, creative enough to solve brand problems and business challenges that brands have using a platform first lens. So nothing really replaces the other. What it really does is makes what you have that much more impactful. So that if you push money, um, a lot of our like our performance platform, for example, ensures conversions. Does
Mm-hmm.
that mean that I will not do traditional mainline advertising? I will have to do it, but how do I make sure that the top of the funnel in terms of a communication campaign actually leads to final sales on an e-commerce side of the brand? Because that is what finally counts. Why are we doing all of this? We're doing it to sell, right? So I wouldn't say that we have weightage on digital first, etc. I'm saying it's a full circle, and
Mm-hmm.
our very deep understanding of brands, because all of us have spent decades in this space of advertising and marketing. Our
Mm-hmm.
understanding of brands, our understanding of human behavior, and our understanding of platforms is the advantage that we bring to clients.
So basically, agencies who don't innovate with such new platforms may not survive in the long run. Is that what you're trying to? Uh,
No, I don't know whether they'll survive or they won't, but they'll definitely not be impactful enough for the simple reason that so much is getting digitized and at multiple levels now. You're aware of this, right? Like there are some brands who don't even have brick and mortar stores. They only sell online. And it's not that they're small successes, they are
Mhm.
huge successes and they're across categories, right? So, I'm saying this is the future of advertising, marketing, communication. And I believe, truly believe that in India, we're the first movers. There's a lot of offerings in Wonderlab which are not available to use anywhere else at the moment. And we see huge momentum
Mhm.
with the tech integration into traditional advertising in many ways. We see huge momentum Frankly, we don't even pitch anymore because brands very, very clearly in our submissions see that difference, which currently isn't available. And since most of it is in-house, we have the ability to turn around stuff really quickly, and that goes a long way in kind of proving our philosophies right.
Which are the top 5 clients of Wondrlab at this point?
So we've had, you've seen multiple amounts of our work going out. We have Tata AIG, we have Healthify, we have Medimix, we have Biryani by Kilo, we have Chayos, we have Bajaj.
Bajaj, yes, of course. That was a big win, yeah.
Yes, and these are pretty much top of the pyramid for us. And at the moment, we run retainers and, between social, digital, platform-based, communication-based across 50 brands in India.
Okay. And coming to my last question and the big question, we've seen such amazing innovations. What next?
Well, all I can say is watch this space. Today we're in uniforms. Tomorrow we're in, you never know where you'll find the founders. Today you saw them hop off a bus. Tomorrow maybe something even more interesting and more innovative. So all I can say right now is watch this space.
And we are very, very, very interested to find out. So yeah, hoping that we can have this conversation once again whenever you do the next big launch. Thank you so much, Vandana, for talking to us.
Thank you, Neeta. A pleasure, as always.
Cheers.